Well, I hope that this is on and auto-focusing to my face. So, there's a few things that I want to do to the boat before I just run her constantly. First thing is I'm gonna take all the carbs off. I'm gonna replace all the carbs. I mean, not replace the carbs, but I'm gonna replace all the carb gaskets. I'm gonna do an oil change on the lower. We're going to replace the impeller. We're gonna do an oil change on the lower. We're gonna get this off, the oil tank off, and we are gonna get those carbs off back there, and we're gonna replace all the gaskets on the carbs. I mean, she's clean. She's a clean engine. It's just right in there. It's a little bit of an issue, but you can see she'll drip down onto the transom, and I just don't like it. It's a very slow drip, but it's a drip nonetheless. This has to, look at this thing. This has got to go. I'm probably gonna take these off, but I don't know yet. But you can see the carbs on this side. 1, 2, 3, top, middle, lower. Those are all gonna come off. Other than that, she's clean. I feel like just for fun, I should replace the oil tank. Just cause somebody put this thing on so tight, as you can see, you have to use like freaking pliers to get it off. That's ridiculous. But anyways, maybe you bought a boat. Maybe you have a 2-stroke. Maybe you have the exact same boat as me. Maybe you're looking for the exact same parts as me. And that's why I'm making these videos, so you guys can follow along with what I'm doing. Because I'm trying to find videos of my exact motor and my exact hull and stuff like that, and it's just really hard to find any videos of anybody working on the Nitro 640 and the Mercury 52-stroke. So, other than that, that's it. Alright guys, so what I have, my socket set, my zip tie cutters, 2 Sharpies, just in case, you know, one isn't working and I just need to mark up something real quick. Flathead, Phillips head, knife, and a little bit of rope. The reason for the rope is because when we move this oil tank over to the side, it's gonna kind of be hanging off a little, and I'm gonna secure it around here and back to this back washer on that flywheel cover. And I had to put a fan up on, because it is roasting hot in this garage. Like I needed air. And rags, you're gonna want rags like effective immediately, because once we pull that fuel filter off on this side, just all the fuel that's from the top is just gonna come down. So have your rags ready. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is get this oil tank off. Also, what I like to do is I'll take a rag, or shop rag, or whatever you want to call it, or a disposable shop rag, and I will lay it down, and I will lay out my bolts as I take them off in order, like reading a book, so I can go backwards and work my way all the way back up. Somebody worked on that because they replaced the freaking, this is not a Phillips, that is a hex. So this has come off before, because this is usually a Phillips, not a hex. So, man, this oil tank is messy. Okay, so anyways, you'll see here on the bottom of this little ring, that's what this rubber cup sits down into, kind of like the oil tank mount. It's just not bolted in except for the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it back into that little coupling down there. There we go. And I'm going to get that string ready to be able to hold it. I'm going to do, just for this big seal here, just tie a little loop knot like so. Little loop knot, and then take the rope, push the rope through, push the knot through. There we go. I have a lasso to go around this and keep it tight. Okay. Well, I got it all tied up. So, the next step is going to be getting this guy. And oil everywhere. So, got that off. Now we have access to our carbs, which you can see already has some stuff running down there. Some mix. I mean, look at this. Look how bad this is. Look at that. That's all down under that third carb. But, yep. So now we're gonna work our way down, taking those carbs out. I'm gonna build up a big hunk of towels here, like so, just for taking that fuel filter off in just a minute. So here's your top carb. This is where your fuel filter line comes in. The zip tie here feeds in, down, tees off, going back, comes down to your next carb, comes down to the next carb. This is what synchronizes those carbs here, so we'll have to get that off. That's what synchronizes those carbs. So first thing we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and get this fuel filter off. Once I have those lines cut, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and put the fuel filter on and then work my way down here. One thing to note is that taking this one off to the bottom, keeping this one on to the top, taking this one off to the bottom, keeping that one on. Unless we have a leak here, but I'm probably going to replace all these zip ties. Just because, for the most part. So here should be the fuel pump. Solenoid mix comes up, fuel line, yada yada, comes around. Here's your fuel filter, like I said, goes over. That's what we're gonna replace as well. Get that done. Get all those gaskets rebuilt on those carbs. Don't cut this line, we're gonna cut this line. Whenever you do cut that line, we're going to stuff that rag, this big giant ball of rags right here underneath it, because everything from here forward is going to flow down and flow out. You gotta put rags down there, and we're probably gonna clean up this oil too. So what I'm gonna do at the moment is I'm gonna go ahead and take these rags and set them up under here, just like that, right underneath that fuel filter. Just let it soak in all that, whatever. All right, so now I'm gonna start taking the zip ties off on the other side, and we will go from there. The only reason I'm putting these rags on here before I cut on the other side, like let's say that it's nice and sealed up over there, right? And for some reason, whenever I cut it and I pop it, there's something sort of leaking over here. It's already covered, there's not fuel dripping down. All right, so as you can see, the down line to the next carb is cut, zip ties cut to the fuel filter. Now I'm gonna go over and cut on the other side of the fuel filter, and we're gonna go ahead and let that drain out. Okay, so now as you can see, they're cut top, bottom. What I like to do, instead of trying to get my hands in there and dropping something, is I like to cut them and then use my Leatherman to get them out. Because I don't trust my fingers, I can grab a hold of them with that Leatherman. Now, with these micro cutters, you have to be very careful, because you are going in on that zip tie and you are cutting very slowly, just the plastic of the zip tie, until it gets close. Even if it's not all the way through, you can get it pretty close, and then grab it with your Leatherman and just pop it, because you do not want to mess up that hose. Safety glasses or something to cover your eyes. Reason being, there could be or could not be pressure in that fuel filter and in that line. So you go to take it off and it sprays you in the eyeballs, you're not gonna like it because it is an oil. Sorry, that's just straight gas mix. Sorry, that's, yeah. So anyways, eye protection. All right, so as you can see, she's off. She has drained out all that fuel. Now let's get it off the top and get the new fuel filter on. So there's the old fuel filter and the new fuel filter. I'm gonna go ahead and get that on, get it zip tied, and then we're gonna start taking down on the carbs on the other side. All right, new fuel filter's on. Checking these do not spin. It spins the whole thing with that zip tie, same as the top. Zip tie doesn't spin, the entire piece spins. Got the zip ties back on. Go ahead and check this one. Yeah, see that zip tie spins. Probably just gonna replace that one just for S&G right there. Went ahead and replaced it. Does not move anymore. Just does not move. Nice and tight. All right, now we're gonna work our way over to the other side and start working on those carbs. Okay, so another thing I'm gonna do, this is where the line comes up for the fuel filter to the first carb. I am stuffing a rag in there just in case there's anything in here and it's gonna drip down. I'm just putting a rag in there for that. Then I'm gonna take it off here and we're gonna try to get that first carb off after we get the synchronized linkage out. Well, sorry, it doesn't sync it, but it opens them all at one time. So as you can see now, I've got both hoses off. I've got to get this linkage off here. It's a plastic clip that clips onto the ball that moves it. You can pop this off very, very gently with a flathead screwdriver. Very gently. And don't mess with that screw. Don't mess with that screw. Okay, so we got the two hoses off. We have this off. Gently. Gently. These are plastic. They will break. You don't want to have to go get another part. Gently. Alright, now that that's not dripping, I can go ahead and take this rag out. And working our way down to the next one. We're going to take this line off here. Keep this hose on here. Right here. Don't cut this one. Same here. This one feeds down. Keep that one on. Okay. Okay, so now that we got the lines done, it is time to take the first carb off. Now, 2 Sharpies on hand. Reason being, one's not working, grab another one. Bingo. 1/2 inch. One. Again, in order on the towel, like a book. Okay. Next one. Hold pressure onto your carb. Pull your bolt out. Leave the bracket on. Now, you do not want to cause any damage to this, so we're going to take our screwdriver. Should be able to pop it loose. Now, immediately, take a rag, wipe off the top. Nice and clean. Take your black Sharpie that hopefully works, but we have 2. Put a T. Top carb. Set that aside onto your dry rag. And if this is clean, I mean, we can go ahead and wipe it off. Put an M for middle, and then a B for the bottom one. Do the zip tie, nothing else. Bingo. 0 damage. 0 to that line. I'm running this right over the plastic and just slowly cutting it. There we go. She's going, she's going, she's going, she's going. Bam! Alright, got it. Take a rag, clean that off. So this is gonna remain. Again, the ties are nice and tight. This is not moving, that's not moving. We're gonna leave this hose on the middle carb. We are going to take this entire linkage off real quick while we're here. There's the middle one. There we go. All right. So, as you can see, not chewed up. The bottom one is a little bit, but not bad at all. Okay, that's the linkage. That comes out, goes on your towel. Now we gotta get this bottom hose undone. Third carb, which thank goodness it's already loose. Again, we're just cutting through the plastic. Really close. Nope. Close, no cigar. Here we go. Got our cut. Zip ties off. On this line. Bam. Second carb. We already have it marked with an M. Hold our carb. Bingo. Just popped off. We kept that line on. Okay, remember that. What we're going to do. We're going to take a rag. We're going to clean off the top of this. We are going to grab our Sharpie. We are going to put a B. Bottom carb. Okay. Now, you have to remember when we remove this third one, this oil tank is not going to be sitting on this anymore. So she might swing a little loose, but now that we are here, I'm going to snug these back up for just a second. Because there is something that you might forget that I just forgot. So, there is a second leakage. So you see that linkage right there? That's on that third carb, on the bottom carb. You have to pop that loose. So we're gonna get over on the other side and we're gonna pop it loose. That's it right there. That linkage connected to that third carb. Gotta pop it loose. Again, very gentle. And don't spin it, because it's seated properly. So just pop it loose and let it be. All right, so just like that. See, she's loose. That's where she sits. Okay. Right on there. Just like that. But she's loose and it's gonna push up. Just so you know. Bracket, put it up, BR, bottom right, now again, hold your carb, screwdriver, and she's off. This is where the issue was coming from. Those are all marked up and done, and yeah, that's how to get the carbs off. Now we'll go into part 2 for rebuilding the gaskets on those carbs. So, alright guys, so let me explain the issue here, primarily from the drip, and why the drip was happening, and why whoever did what. I don't care that the carbs are out, and that I'm rebuilding them anyways. I already spent the money, I don't care. So, I know where the leak was coming from, where the mixed leak was coming from. So this is air intake right here. Okay, You see this little grommet on here? Yeah? See this little grommet on here? Yep. See this little... Oh. Huh. Huh. The mix is coming out of here. Because I noticed that somebody had taken this off when this bolt right here, because it's supposed to be a Phillips. Now, that means I knew that somebody took it apart and they forgot to put the seal around that bottom one. And now, look at all that. And I'm gonna clean it up, I'm gonna make it look good, but that's why everything's covered in mix down there and gas, and I'm surprised this thing didn't catch on fire. Just with the heat inside and how much mix is actually in there. But yeah, that was it. Right there. There's the problem right there. But yeah, that's the exact reason, is one seal on that air intake ruined the whole game. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did like the video, go ahead and click that like button. If you want, subscribe. I mean, it's just gonna be more and more. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing the carb rebuild, just the gaskets and whatnot. I'm gonna be doing the impeller rebuild, lower end oil, everything on this motor. If you got a 640 nitro, I'm gonna do everything on 640. Why? Because I'm gonna keep this hull forever, because she fits in my garage. Okay, I got a 21.5-foot garage with a flip tongue trailer, so she fits, she's staying. If I replace to a 4-stroke 90, whatever, maybe I'll keep the 2-stroke 50, bump it up, maybe 65, 75, I don't know, maybe it's possible. But yeah, guys, see ya.